Hello everyone, welcome to Global Online University. So as you all know, our channel helps you to prepare for UGC NET paper 1. So today I have brought for you very important questions on research aptitude. So this is the second unit and it gives you 10 marks in paper 1. Okay, it can give you actually 10 marks if you answer all the questions correctly. Uh, so this is actually, I would say, a little tougher as compared to the other units. Research aptitude and higher education are a little bit at the tougher end. Okay, so if you gain knowledge in this unit, it will be really helpful to you all. Um, so let's wait for the students to join, and then we'll start with the session. Till then, you can let me know how your preparation is going for the upcoming examination. I know you guys must be a little bit uh, in dilemma when the paper is. So I would suggest you students to like just not worry about the examination. Just keep preparing because eventually the exam is going to happen today or tomorrow. Okay, it will happen. So from our end, what we can do is we just can study more and more. Okay, a hearty good evening to everyone. Yeah. So before starting with the session, I have a very important news for you all. A very helpful news that Global Online University has brought for you all. One second, students. We have brought for you a question bank of 2000 plus MCQ. So these are really, really very important questions, students. uh, we have tried to bring up all the current affairs from the recent times in this PDF and all the expected questions from each and every unit along with current affairs. So this PDF contains questions from all the 10 units along with current affairs. So it is very important if you study each and every question of this particular PDF. I assure you 70 plus marks with paper 1. And if you feel like getting, if you want to get access to this PDF, you can contact on the number which is here on the screen, and the fees is very minimal. It is just 499. Okay, so you can get this PDF very easily, students, and with one single PDF your complete revision of paper 1 will be done. Okay, let's start with the question. One important rule for this session is that students do write your answers along with question number. Okay, so it really helps me to know on which question you are. Okay, is that fine with you? So the first question here is the best meaning of research is. So among these four options, which defines research in the best possible manner? Adoption of scientific method for creation and application of knowledge, or adoption of critical and constructive solution of problems. Okay, so arriving at generalization based on observed data, or research for universal truths of life. Students, in this question, if we look at other options, this option, adoption of critical and constructive thinking of for solution of a problem. Students, not all researchers are for solution of a problem. Okay, sometimes there are researchers, they want to find out answers. Okay, they may not be solution to any particular problem, like the Newton's law. So when Newton was discovering about the three laws of motion, he did not know where to apply it, but he did eventually discover it. So this option is incorrect. Arriving at generalization based on observed data. So there are not all all the time, this is not true. Search for universal truth of life. Okay, so it's not just about life. The best possible answer to this question is option number A, where researchers Research. What is the meaning of research? Re means again, and search means finding answers. So, but what we are doing is we are using scientific methodology. Okay, for we are creating also and applying that knowledge. That is called research. Okay, in research we use scientific methods for creation and application of knowledge. First option is the correct answer to this question, right? Let's look at the next question. The next question is, of the following sampling methods, which is probability method? Which is the probability method? So students, if we look at what is sampling, sampling is nothing when we are taking out a set of numbers or set of people from a population. Okay, like if there is 1 lakh people, okay, 1 lakh has 5 zeros. Okay, so if you want to do a research on the people of one particular area, we cannot do research on this 1 lakh people. Obviously it is not possible. But what we can do is we can do research on 100 people. So if we want to take 100 people from this 1 lakh people, we need to use some methods. Okay, so that method, it could be either probability or it could be non probability. So the question is asking, see, sampling methods, it is of two types: probability and non probability. Probability means that each and every one has, they can be picked up, they have the probability of getting picked up in the sample. So in the in this question, the right answer is option C, simple random sampling. What is simple random sampling? It is just randomly we are picking up people from a population. Okay, for example, if you want to do research on the level of stress during COVID, right? What you want to do, you want to look at the stress of people during the COVID situation. So what you do is, you want to do research on 1 lakh people. What you do is, you take one person from this area, ABC colony, one from this, one from this, any 100 people you choose at a random. You do not use any method of selecting. You just pick up whichever you want to select. That is called simple random sampling. The name only suggests. While others, judgmental sampling, quota sampling, and convenience sampling, is another type of probability. These are non-probability methods. So judgmental sampling is when the researcher, he uses his what you can say, his judgment to select people, while quota is when you put up a quota. Like if you want to do a research on 100 students, and like 1,000 students, and there are 60 are 600 are male and 400 are female. So you take a quota, you take, if you want to collect 100 people, you take 60 boys and 40 girls. Okay, so this ratio they take and they select the people. Convenience sampling is when you want to you the researcher takes or picks up people which is near to him. Okay, so as per his convenience or as per his feasibility, he picks up the sample. Okay, so now you got what is the answer to this question? Probability sampling, simple random sampling, is a kind of probability sampling method. Okay. Yeah, Neelam, actually there was some technical issues, so we fixed it, and that is why yesterday was not the class, and we took it today. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. Question number 3, the probability of selecting an item in probability sampling from the population is. So, as you all know, in probability sampling, we select people or an item from a given set of population. The question is saying that what is the probability of that selection? Okay, what is that probability? There was one unit, you remember, in class 9th and 10th we had probability. What we did is, there was a dice problem that we used to solve. What is the probability of getting 3 when you roll a dice? What was that? Probability means what are the chances of getting 3 whenever you roll a dice, right? So the question here they are asking, if there is a set of population, okay, and you are selecting this sample using probability sampling method, what is the probability of an item getting picked up? If you look at the options, students, is it equal to 1? 1 means what? 1 means that everyone will be selected. That is not the truth, right? If there are like 1 lakh people, the probability of let's pick up a name from those who are live. Okay, let's pick up Akriti. Okay, this she is here and there are 1 lakh people. What is the probability of Akriti getting selected? Is it equal to 1 upon 1 lakh people? Okay, let's pick up another name. Kitty. Okay, Kitty. B is Kitty. Her probability is also 1 lakh this much. So is it equal to 1? No, it is definitely, if it is 1, then she will be definitely selected. So this is not the right answer. Equal to 0? Equal to 0 means that she does not have the probability of getting selected. In random sampling, everyone has equal chance of getting selected. Okay, so even this option is incorrect. Option C is the right answer, non-zero. It is not equal to 0. Okay, the answer is option C. So, if any person is there in the population, they have a chance of getting selected, but it will not be equal to 1. 1 means he will definitely be selected. If I am saying the chances of Akriti getting selected is 1, it means that she will certainly be in the sample. But random sampling, what it does? It chooses a person at random. So she may be selected and she might not. That is why in this question, the right answer is option C. It is non-zero. Okay. Let's look at the fourth question. Plagiarism in research is. So this is a very crucial term in research. It has been seen a lot of times. What is plagiarism? This question is very important. You should know if you are going for research in the future. You will, you know, come face to face with these terms a lot of times. Okay. So the options are creative use of previous data. No, not at all. Quoting someone and citing him or her. Okay, we can quote, like if there is a research written paper written by me. Okay, my name is Zeba. I am writing this paper and I've used somebody else's research. Okay, so what I'll do is I will cite her. Okay, I will write somewhere in the paper, okay, that I have used this one and this person's research. So if you're quoting and citing someone, that is definitely not wrong, it is right. The question is asking about plagiarism, remember. Okay, referring to previous data and working over it with new objective. This is also not right. The right answer is option B, copying unscrupulously and making use of it. So this, the meaning of this term is not honest. Okay, not honest, unscrupulous. What it means is that we are using someone else's research paper and we are saying that we have done it. At lot of times here you might have seen in like if you are working in an organization, what happens, you do some work with your colleague and that colleague says, okay, I have done it, but actually you know that you have done that work. So what is that? That is, I'm just giving you an example how people copy. Okay, and they say that they have done the work. In research, the term is plagiarism. When we use somebody else's research paper and you put up as yours. So here what you can do is, see, that person has done so much in writing that paper. If you are posing it as yours, it would be really very bad on your part. So plagiarism is a very great, it's a great offense, and it should be really really avoided by the research. And these days there are so many tools available on the internet where you can find and you can see if plagiarism is done on that paper or not. Okay, so when we are copying somebody else's work and you're presenting as yours, that is plagiarism. Question number 5 is college teacher plans a research program in which he or she intends to improve the socio emotional aspect of her classroom climate during teaching. Which of the following research methods can be considered appropriate in this context? In this question, they are trying to ask is, they have given you a situation. So here, uh, students, these kind of questions, as I always tell you that I usually prefer taking up the previous year's questions. I would like to tell you that I have seen in 2020 what they do is the NTA give you a situation. Okay, they give you a situation and then they ask you which research they are going to use over here. Okay, so you should know, not just mugging up what is experimental, descriptive and historical research. That will not do. You should actually in-depth knowledge you should have what these research means. Experimental research is when they find out the cause and effect. Okay, so in this case this will not be the right answer. Descriptive research is when they are you when we are you the researcher is used to find who, when, why, how, all these questions. If they are researcher is trying to find out, it's called descriptive. Historical research is when they are using past data. But action research, this is the right answer. When action research is usually used in schools and academic institutions to find out problems. Okay, like the kind of teaching method that is currently being used, if you want to improve it, at that time we are using action research. Okay, when we are used when we try to find out a better solution to the existing problem in educational institutions, we use action research. Okay, so that is why D is the answer. Let's move on to the next question. A university teacher intends to study the relationship between level of aspiration and achievement of rural children. Which design of research will be most appropriate? Experimental. So experimental, as I already told you, when we are using trying to finding the cause and effect. Historical, you all know, as the name suggests. Okay. Survey research design, we are not going to go and do survey regarding this. For if the university teacher wants to see level of aspirations, means what the students want to do in the future and what they have actually achieved, they will use ex post facto research design. This question is important because you should know here the meaning of ex post facto means whenever something has happened, okay, any event has happened, we are doing research on that at a later time. That is called as ex post facto research. Okay, so I am getting many right answers from all the students, which is very good because these classes are meant so that you boost your confidence in each and every unit. Okay, so in this research design, the investigation starts after the fact has occurred without the interference of the researcher. Okay, so what the teacher will do is, teacher will see first, she will see what was the level of aspiration and how much students have achieved in the rural areas. What does the rural areas means? Rural children means the children who live in villages. Okay, not in cities. Okay, small towns and villages. what was the level of aspiration and how much they have achieved. So their achievement, like someone might have become doctor or engineer, and someone who might be continuing their father's or their family work, whatever it could be farming or any other occupation. So what was the level of aspiration and what they have achieved? This achievement would have obviously be done in the past. So after that act or that incident has occurred, if we do some research, it is called ex post facto research design, right? Let's look at the next question. The study of why stressful living result in heart attack can be classified as. So again, a situational question. I really like this kind of question, students, because these type of questions, they actually test your knowledge. The questions will not be direct, students. I'm again and again telling you, it will not be direct. They would actually test your inner knowledge, in depth knowledge of your subject. Okay, so here, uh, in this question, they are asking, they have given you situation why stressful living result in a heart attack. Which research will be it classified into? Okay, the right answer is here. I told you the options. Descriptive research is when it describes a problem. Okay, how, when, why, who, all these questions are asked in descriptive research. Okay, correlational is when you do research at one fixed point of time. Okay, feasibility research, it is used to find how feasible, what does feasible means, to what extent something is possible. If you're doing a research, okay, you are doing on something which is very costly or something which is very time consuming. So all those factors we need to see. The right answer to this question will be option B, explanatory research, because it explains a particular situation, why something is happening. Okay, that time we are using explanatory research. So I'm very happy to see mostly students are giving the right answer. It's very good, very nice, students. Let's look at the next question. Fundamental research is a type of research that, so this is a very important question. See, basic research, what are the types of research? It is very important. You should know all these by heart. Okay. So, what the question is asking, it is just asking you about what a fundamental research is. Okay. Uh, Discovers way of finding solution to immediate problems. So, immediate problems, you remember? It was what? It was action research. Okay. Gathers knowledge skills. No. The right answer is, the right answer here is, so students, here the right answer is option B, gathers knowledge skills. Okay, fundamental research. It is used for scientific theories. Okay, for improving scientific theories or finding out new theories. Right? Okay, it it is used to, like, the main motive is to enhance the knowledge, seeking knowledge. Yeah, very good. Vidya has given for seeking knowledge. They are not meant for solving some problems or nothing like that. Yeah. Fundamental research is also called basic research, pure research. Okay, it is mainly used for expanding the knowledge. Yeah, B is the answer. Very important question. Let's look at the next question. Which of the following can be the source of primary data? Okay, so there are the sources of data in research can be primary or secondary. Okay, it could be primary or secondary. So primary data is, students, when you collect data from scratch. Okay, from scratch means you build up the data, that is called primary. Okay, data source could be primary or secondary. Okay, so primary data could be what? It could be questionnaire, it could be experiments, yeah, it could be your survey. Okay, and secondary could be what? Books which are actually published previously, journals, okay, reports, newspapers, articles. They could be many sources of secondary data. So if you look at survey, yes, it is a kind of primary data. Experimental also, but you have to see which answer correctly matches. Okay, yeah, primary data is first hand reliable. Survey and experiment, and reference means you are using other people's research, so that will come in secondary. Okay, so this one is secondary, but option C is the right one. When we collect data from scratch, we make our own data, it is called primary. And questionnaire, experiments, surveys, all these are kind of primary data. So this is also very important. Recently in MHSET examination in paper 1, there was a question from primary and secondary data. Yeah, C is the answer. Next, what is a variable? Is it a construct, established relationship, hypothesis, or measurable attribute? What is a variable? Okay, so students, variable is simply that refers to a person, place, or thing that you can, or whichever you're trying to measure in some or the other ways. Okay, so for example, if you are trying to collect data on the color of a person's eyes. Okay, so eye color could be what? It could be brown, it could be black, it could be blue, okay, hazel, green. There are so many colors of the eyes. So eye color is an example of your variable. Anything that you can measure is called a variable. And variables are, students, they are of two types. One is dependent variable and the other is independent variable. Okay, for example, independent variable is those like your age, your um, gender. Okay, all these are independent variable. And dependent variable is, students, like test scores. Okay, like if you're giving an examination, what are the factors, if we influence, like if there is a noise in the classroom, all those things that can affect your scores. So scores, examination results, all these are kind of dependent variables. Okay, measurable attribute, is the answer. If a researcher wants to know how a change in achievement is dependent on the discussion method, the researcher will allow which of the following researchers? Okay, he wants to know how a change in achievement is dependent on the discussion method. Question number 11. The right answer is experimental research. Action research we saw when you are finding out the immediate problems. Quasi experimental research. Quasi experimental, quasi means resembling. Okay, It resembles experimental research, but it is not. Okay. The right answer is experimental research, when we find the cause and effect between a particular between two variables. Okay. Which of the following is a non-probability sampling method? So one question was which one is a probability sampling method. This question talks about which is a non-probability sampling method. So cluster sampling, quota sampling, systematic sampling, or stratified sampling. Quota sampling is a kind of non-probability sampling method I discussed in question number 2 or 3. Okay. Cluster sampling, it is usually done when we are doing research on very large scale. That time we use cluster sampling. We have systematic sampling, like when we use sampling, if you want to collect data from 1000 people, we take every 10th person. Okay. Stratified random sampling is like if we have data, okay, and the population is, it could be men, it could be women, and it could be children. Okay, so what we do is we divide this population. We take uh, some from men, some from women, and some from children. So that is what is stratified random sampling. Okay, quota sampling is when we divide the population into particular quotas and then we do sampling. I gave you this example before, I'll give it again. Like if there are 1000 students in a college and you want to do research, what you do is look at the quota. Means you see there are 600 boys and 400 girls. So there is a ratio. There is a 60/40. There is a ratio between this population. So what you do is if you want to collect 100 students, you take 60 boys and 40 girls. In the same proportion, you collect the data. So that is quota sampling. Okay. Question number 13. Dash is a formal reference to a published or unpublished source that a researcher uses for writing his research paper. Is it a tutorial? No, it is not a tutorial, obviously. Journal. Journal means what it is like where research informations, they are, they come in a particular, every month journals are published. Manuscripts, no. Yes, the right answer is option D, citation. Citation is a formal reference to a published or unpublished source. Like I told you, no, that if you're using somebody else's research paper as a reference, you cite his paper into your paper. Okay, you write their name. Okay, this paper I have used while writing my paper. That is why it is called citation. It's very important. Uh, so here comes a very important one important information I want to tell you here is impact factor, students. Impact factor is how many times your research paper or your article has been cited in a particular year. Okay, how many times a research paper has been cited by others in a particular area. Obviously, if it has been cited more number of times, it means that your paper is very good. So the higher the impact factor or higher the number of citations, your research paper is really good. Next is, which of the following can be included as a primary source of data? Handwritten manuscripts, observation and collection of the thesis only, question and interview only. So primary source of data is when you do all the collection of data on your own from scratch. So here all the handwritten manuscripts, observations and collections that you have done, and the questionnaire and interview that you have performed, all those include as primary sources of data. Okay. Question number 15. Which of the following research focus on enhancing the corpus of knowledge in a given field? Okay. In this question, what is corpus means? Corpus means collection of written text. Okay. What, like, it could be any field. How much written text or how much information you have. Corpus means written text. In this question, they are asking which research focuses on enhancing the written text in a given field, whether it is action research, applied research, evaluative research, or fundamental research. So, obviously, now all the students should be able to answer this question. Question number 15, the answer is D. Action research, we saw when we are trying to solve immediate problems. Applied research also solves problems, students, but it could be business related problems. Okay, it could be business related. Usually action research is what, it is education related. Okay, but applied research could be business, it could be medical, or education, it could be anyone. Evaluative research is also a different kind of research, but if you want to increase the knowledge in a particular field, then we use fundamental research. Okay. Yeah, Neelam. Yeah, very good. Thanks to Tripti ma'am for teaching you all so nicely. Very good. Okay. Here also I would like to tell you, all this we have already studied. No need. Action research, applied research, evaluative research. So it is also a type of research to evaluate a product. Okay, we see how much there is scope in a particular concept that we have brought. Okay. Also, students, all these classes, these are a very good revision for you. If you know, then you well and good. And see, this is many studies have proven, if we study something or learn something at a point of time, after a few times we forget it. So in these classes at Global Online University, we bring up topics that you have already studied, so that you make it by heart and you do not forget in the examinations. So, question number 16 is, ICT application in research is mostly useful for which of the reasons given below? For reducing the cost of research? No, no, definitely not. The cost is not a problem. The cost is not the reason why we are using ICT. For academic establishment, for enhancing source of accessibility of research data. Yes, this seems to be right. For promoting dialogic interactions. So here obviously the answer seems to be option C, which is correct, because we are enhancing the scope of accessibility. As I told you, there are so many websites that are available on the internet where you can get all the research papers. Okay, so the access that anyone, if they have an internet connection or any digital device, laptop, tablet, or mobile, they can access the research data through ICT. What is ICT? Information and communication technology. All the internet, all the services, all these together, all the electronic devices, they form ICT. So this is very important. We are using ICT at so many places. It's really, really helpful. Okay, question number 17. The conceptual framework in which a research is conducted is called synopsis of research, research design, research hypothesis, or research paradigm. The conceptual framework is it your synopsis, is it your research design, or research hypothesis, or research paradigm? So the right answer here is option B, research design. Research design is, students, nothing, step by step approach used by researcher to conduct a particular study. Okay, what is the step by step approach that we are going to use to conduct the study? That is called research design. Okay, hypothesis is a educated guess, right? Yeah, it is the blueprint or a plan. Yes, is the answer. Next question. The idea that knowledge comes from experience is rationalism, deductive reasoning, logic, or empiricism. In this question, rationalism, it means whenever we are using logic at that time, like in research perspective, whenever you are using mathematical calculations, it is called rationalism. Okay, so empiricism is the right answer, students. See, rationalism corresponds to mathematical analysis, while empiricism means whatever we are gaining, all the knowledge that we are gaining from experience. Like, see, whenever a child is brought or he comes in this world, even if we do not give him any knowledge, he will have a lot of knowledge from experience. Like, if when the child will touch anything hot once, he will understand, okay, we should not touch hot things because it can cause us harm. So, what is that? That is empiricism. There are a number of things, all the life lessons that we gain over a period of time. What is that? That is we gain from experience. So in research, empiricism means when we gain knowledge from the experiences. Okay, corresponds to experiments and observations both. Okay, question number 19. Action research is obviously, is it applied research, action, a research carried out to solve immediate problems, longitudinal research, or stimulative research? See, longitudinal research, students, here, this is an important term which I have not told you. That what is longitudinal research? Research which takes place at for a longer period of time. Okay, like data is collected for a few repeated, or the frequency is more. At that time we use longitudinal research. Okay, action research is not applied research, it is not stimulative research, and it is definitely not longitudinal research. It is a research carried out to solve immediate problems. Okay, next question. A non-government organization, an NGO, or NGO conducted a study in Gram Panchayat to see the impact of campaign on enrollment and retention of rural elementary school children. Is an example of descriptive, field, ex post facto, or historical research. So here, the right answer is field experiment, because what they are doing is field experiments means they are using the current situation. Okay, they are looking at what currently is happening in the village when they are putting up these campaigns. What is the impact of campaigns? Means the governments, non-government, this organization, they put up some campaigns, they tell the people about all the positive sides of enrolling students. What is enrollment? When students get admission. And retention means that students, they stay there, students don't go. In elementary school, elementary is what? Primary education, that students they gave in class 1, 2, 3. That is, yeah. Ex post facto is when the research is done after some incident has occurred. Okay, that is ex post facto. So descriptive, I told you. Historical, descriptive is when you answer why, when, how, all those questions are answered. That is called descriptive. And historical is when you look at past data. Okay, very very old data, that's called. Hmm. Okay, so here field experiment is the right answer to this question. The effect of campaign. The type of sampling where each person in population has equal chances of being selected is probability, non-probability, judgment sampling, or none of the above. So this question is very clear. obviously the right answer is option A, probability sampling. When everyone has equal chances, I gave you an example of 1 lakh people, and if there was a person A and B, A also has equal chances. Like if the population is 1 lakh, the A has 1 by 1 lakh probability, and B also has 1 upon 1 lakh. Means anybody, A can also be selected, B can also be selected. Everybody has got equal chances of getting picked up from the population. It's called probability sampling. While non-probability is when everyone does not have a equal chance of getting selected. That is called non-probability. Judgment sampling is a kind of non-probability sampling where the researcher, he uses his mind, his brain, to pick up data from the population. I really want to give you, yeah, there are more than 25 28 questions are there. Okay, who is asking? Yeah, Neelam. So, judgmental sampling, I would like to give you an example. Like, if the researcher wants to do a study on people who are really short tempered. So, students, there are so many times when people who are short tempered, they don't know that they are short tempered. Okay, so what the researcher will do, he will look at his, like, his friends or his colleagues or people in his neighborhood, and since we know a lot of people, so he might, from his own judgment, he'll find out people. Okay, if he wants just 3 or 4 people, he'll use his judgment and he'll think, okay, this one, yeah, he fits into my research. Let us ask him and take him into my sample. Okay, that is called judgmental sampling. Question 22. When a research problem is related to heterogeneous population, the most suitable method is, okay, cluster method. I told you when the population is very large. Stratified also, I told you when the big population is divided into subgroups and then collection is made. Convenient is, it is a kind of non-probability when the data is collected by the researcher who is nearest to him. Okay. And lottery method. Lottery method is just your simple random method. So when the population is heterogeneous, in this question, students, you should know the meaning of heterogeneous. It means different varieties there in the population. At that time, we will use stratified method. Okay. um like if you want to do the stress level of people on the basis of their occupation, so what you will do is, if in a in just imagine, if in a city you can divide the people into doctors or engineers, or like you can labors, anything, you can divide this population into these different subgroups, and then you can pick up from that population. It is called stratified sampling. Okay, doctors, engineers, it could be laborers, it could be businessmen, anything that the population, or some people could be unemployed. Okay, unemployed could also be a category. That ways we can divide the population, or which is heterogeneous, means a variety of people are there, and then we can look at the stress level of the people. Okay. Question number 23. Good research questions are. So good research questions, students, it just means how a research should be, what a researcher should find in a research. uh, Clear, significant, and ethical. Okay, fine, yeah, this seems to be correct. Clear, feasible, clear, significant, ethical. Significant, include a hypothesis, it might not include a hypothesis. Okay, clear, ethical, or feasible. So here in this question, B is the answer. It should be feasible, means it should be possible, it should be clear, significant, and ethical. Ethical means it should not offend anyone. All the morals should be there. Okay. An educated guess about what is controlling some behavior is called experimental control, hypothesis, experimental variable, or a theory. The right answer is option B. I already told you in one of the question. Hypothesis is an educated guess. Okay, it may or may not be right, but the researcher might have seen he might have seen a particular problem and he thinks, okay, this could be the right answer. The hypothesis could be accepted or it could be rejected. Okay, it could be true or it could be false, but the educated guess by the researcher is called a hypothesis. Okay, it is not experimental control, not experimental variable, or not theory and hypothesis is different. Okay, yeah, tentative statement. The accuracy of research process depends upon unbiased attitude of researchers, the sample size, the research method adopted, or all of the above. Accuracy means how correct the research process is. Unbiased attitude of researchers, yes, definitely. A researcher should never be biased. He should be unbiased. The sample size, it should be adequate enough. The research proper research method should be adopted. So all of these will define if your research process is accurate or not. Okay, the best quality of researcher is how a researcher should be: curious, active imagination, ability, or all of the above. The right answer is option D. Students, research is not a very simple task. Obviously, if you are not motivated to do a particular task, you will, because you see, what do researchers do? They spend 4, 5, 10, 20, 15 years, so many years they put up. It is not easy to give so many years to something if you are not passionate about. So, obviously, you should be curious, you should have that imagination. Okay, this could be the answer, that could be the answer, and you should have all those particular abilities. Okay, you should be capable enough. Hence, D is the answer. The depth of any research can be judged by title of the research, objective of the research, total expenditure, or duration. How deep the research is, it can be judged by the objective of the research. What the research is trying to find out, that is called the objective. Okay, the main aim of the research. B is the answer. Last question. Which of the following periodical is specifically meant for publishing research work? Magazine, monographs, journals, or books? Okay, students, magazines, everybody knows they are cosmopolitan. We have so many magazine in India today. All those, there are so many magazines. So, do you think is meant for research works? No, their magazines are about fashion or education, anything. Okay, monographs is a written study of a specialized subject. So, it is not the right answer. Okay, books could be anything. You have Harry Potter books, you have Game of Thrones books, you have your NCRT books. There are numerous books. So books are not meant for research works. It could be research, it could be not, but they are not specifically meant for research work. While journals are those periodical. What does periodical means? That something that is published after a particular interval of time. Okay, like every month, every 3 months, or 4 months, something like that. So that is periodical, which is meant for, specifically meant for research work only. That is called a journal. Okay. Uh, so thank you for coming in this session. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned from this lesson. If you have any doubts or suggestions, feel free to write in the comment section. Also, let me know if there are particular topics that you want me to take up. I would be happy to do that for you all. Okay. Lastly, what I would like to tell you, for we have started a new batch for UGC NET Paper 1. Okay, where we provide you 60 full syllabus tests, complete notes, and video lectures. See, these Test have 3000 plus students MCQs. They have previous year's papers, they have important questions and current affairs as well. So if you want to get access to all this notes, PDF, and lectures, you can download Global Online University app, or you can join our paid WhatsApp group. The number is given on the screen, and the fees is very minimal. You can contact this number. Okay. Thank you for coming in this session. I'm really glad that you liked it. I would like to bring more such sessions for you. So my next class will be on coming Saturdays, and from Monday to Friday, Fifth Man will take up sessions. Okay. Thank you all. We'll meet on Saturday. Okay. Bye. Study